Hey everyone, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and welcome to our Week 9 waiver wire video for you guys. Hopefully you guys came out with at least close to a victory. There is obviously one more game tonight. Hopefully you get that Miracle Monday. There are a lot of great plays that happened this weekend. There are also obviously some changes that happened this weekend. And hopefully this Week 9 waiver wire video is going to help you guys a lot. And again, getting ready for getting closer and closer to those playoffs. Before you know it, they'll be here. We want to help get you guys in a good position. Now, first thing I want to talk about, it's going to be Week 9 buys. There are 4 teams that are going to be on a bye week this week, okay? You've got the Lions, the Seahawks, the Bucks, and Washington football team. So 4 teams are on a bye, so that does play a factor a lot of times on who you might pick up. And of course, for our start and sit videos that we're going to be dropping later this week for you guys. So the first thing I want to talk about are going to be quarterbacks. These are some guys that I believe are some good waiver wire pickups, whether you're streaming them for this week to fill in with some of the quarterbacks you have, or there could be certain things that maybe you just always stream quarterbacks weekly, and this will help you out. First guy I want to talk about is going to be Carson Wentz. He's somebody that he had an up and down game overall, but he did really well as far as fantasy goes. He actually had a really good game. I ended up having to pick him up because I had Dak Prescott missing. And he still put up about 28 points or so in fantasy. He did an amazing job. He's available in 46% of most leagues, and they're playing the New York Jets. Jets do have a pretty good secondary as far as defensive side. A lot of time is because they're playing, behind and most teams are rushing on them, but this is a really good matchup for them this week. So I do like Carson Wentz as a good pickup. Another guy I have is going to be Tua again. Now, Tua I didn't recommend as a start this week just because of the matchup, but this matchup's a little bit easier for them. They've got the Texans this week, which is why I think he might be somebody you might want to stream. I'm not saying start yet. You'll have to check out our start sit video for the quarterbacks, but I do like him. He's available in 65% of most leagues, so make sure you check him out. And the last quarterback I want to talk about, now this one's going to be a little different. Reason why I have Taysom Hill as a good pickup is the fact that there's obviously a pretty significant injury to Jameis Winston's knee. Trevor Siemian actually came in because Taysom Hill is still dealing with his concussion issue. But I still have Taysom Hill as a quarterback you might want to pick up. Obviously, we got to wait. Got to see what's going on with his concussion. He's missed almost 3 weeks now due to his concussion back in, I think, week 5 or so. So it is something to keep an eye on. But once he is healthy, and if this injury is pretty significant, that like Sean Payton said about Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill will be the starter once he's back healthy. So he's a good quarterback to pick up. He's available in 98% of most leagues. So he's out there. Again, somebody you might want to consider for your season this week. Now, next I want to talk about running backs. Now, running backs, there are a few running backs that are some standouts that I actually noticed that were still available out there. First guy I want to talk about, Michael Carter. Michael Carter is still available in 33% of most leagues. They are playing the Indianapolis Colts, who are a pretty good defense. Not great, but pretty good. But Michael Carter just put up over 30 points this past weekend. And for anybody who watched any of my videos or anybody else's, a lot of people are really talking about Michael Carter and somebody you should have been trading for, or at least going after. He's got a good rest of the schedule for the rest of the year, and they're really implementing him into this offense, so I like him a lot. Another guy I have as a good pickup is going to be J.D. McKissic. McKissic, look, he is their PPR king over there, so if you are playing PPR or half PPR for Washington, this is a good pickup. Now, Washington is on a bye, so again, picking him up is really just to kind of stash him so other players aren't picking him up. He's available in 43% of most leagues, and on top of that, Gibson's still dealing with that shin injury. He underperformed greatly, and they might end up doing something with that where maybe they just want to keep him healthy so that way he's not being, detrimental to the end of this season or obviously going into next season. I think it's a really big thing that I think Washington might consider. So I like McKissic a lot, again, especially in those PPR leagues. Last guy I talk about as a running back is going to be Boston Scott. I know everybody talked up Kenneth Gainwell. Now, there were a couple times I mentioned Gainwell was a good start for people who asked us in comments or maybe asked us on socials. And again, based off of what their other situations are, Gainwell was the best option. But for the most part, I wasn't falling in love with him like a lot of people did. I get that the matchup was great, and don't get me wrong, the Eagles did an amazing job rushing against the Detroit Lions. But it was more so the fact that previously Gainwell was losing shares, even with how little the Eagles still ran the ball. Before Miles got hurt, Gainwell was starting to lose some of that. And I think that played a big factor in this. They didn't even consider him. He did get double-digit touches, but that was in the fourth quarter after they're blowing out the Lions. So Boston Scott's definitely one that I would pick up because Miles Sanders is expected to at least miss 1 or 2 more games, and Boston Scott's available in 81% of most leagues, and he's got a good matchup against the Chargers. Now, as far as some wide receivers go, the first guy I want to talk about is Cole Beasley. Look, Beasley had a great game this past weekend. You had players like Emmanuel Sanders that just didn't show up. He had 4 targets, had 0 points, which was crazy. With Dawson Knox being out, and who knows how long he'll be out, a lot of those red zone first down targets went to Cole Beasley. And I like that, again, matchup-wise, they're going against the Jaguars this week, and he's available in 40% of most leagues, so he's a really good flex or a good wide receiver too for this matchup, so I do like him. Another guy I want to talk about as a good pickup is going to be Jamison Crowder. Crowder, he's off and on. And again, it's all depending on matchup, but he might be somebody you want to stash, especially if you have a deeper league or if you're just desperate based off of injuries. He's available in 81% of most leagues. Looked really good with Mike White at quarterback. I'm not saying there's a controversy, but he just looked really good. And he's always the guy that they're going to target as far as first down. So again, PPR, half PPR, Jamison is a good option. Another guy I like is Devontae Parker. He's been out with injuries. He's up and down, and the fact that Waddle's getting a lot of the recognition from the defense, it's helping Devontae Parker a lot. He didn't score a touchdown, didn't wow you, but he had a lot of catches and a good amount of yards, which helped him just over 17 points in fantasy his first game back. Again, matchup, Texans. Might be somebody you want to consider. He's available in 66% of most leagues. Last guy I want to talk about is Russell Gage, and you can also talk about Tajay Sharp in this particular spot. You can kind of figure out which one, but Russell Gage is one that you might want to consider. With the news of Calvin Ridley dealing with obviously his mental health and trying to figure that out and stepping away from football at this moment, really the wide receivers are going to be Gage, Sharp, Patterson, Pitts. So there's definitely a void with Calvin Ridley dealing with what he's going on outside of football. Hopefully he does come back prepared and he's back to the way he should be. I know, hopefully he's doing well, but right now he is out of football. So that leaves a big void, and Russell Gage is the one I'm leaning more towards than Sharp, but Sharp is another one you can go after. Gage is available in 85% of most leagues, so again, something to consider. As far as tight ends go, there's only really one tight end I want to talk about, just because, again, based off the matchups, based off of how well he's played, Pat Freiermuth for the Steelers has done an amazing job. They're going against the Bears. Pretty good matchup. He is available in 90% of most leagues, but he's averaged over 13 points in fantasy the last 2 games, which is great. He's seeing a lot of targets. Eric Ebron's kind of getting pushed to the side, so I like Pat a lot. Again, another tight end you might want to consider and pick up, especially for anybody that had Robert Tonyan that is obviously out for the season. He's a good fill-in and pick up. Again, Logan Thomas is another one I want to talk about a little bit, but Logan Thomas is obviously expected to come back from IR, and right now nothing has changed, so he might be somebody you might want to consider. But that's one other tight end I would think about. So those are my Week 9 waiver wire pickups. So hopefully those are some good inputs for you guys, maybe some good players to help you. Again, we're not talking about start and sits yet. We'll do those in the next videos in the next day or two. But I just want to get you guys prepared and ready for grabbing these players. If you guys do have questions of who you should pick up or drop, maybe your league has different players that have dropped and you just have questions, hit us up in the comments down below or hit us up on our socials. We're on Twitter, Instagram. You can always hit us up on our DMs there. Ask away. We'll be able to give you some advice of who you should drop, who you should pick up. That way you guys are ready for this Week 9. If you guys happen to stumble on this channel and you are new and it was helpful for you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you guys are notified every time we drop a video just like this. Also, don't be afraid to hit that like button. It is greatly appreciated. Again, it's a way to kind of show support and love back to us, and we greatly thank you so much for that. So again, thank you guys so much. Week 9 is coming upon us. Make sure you get those lineups ready for tonight. Stay tuned for any injuries like Tony or something like that. So pay attention to that. I'm going to wish all the best vibes to you guys for your Monday Night Miracles so you guys get that victory this week, and I'll check you guys next time.